team that's present at the BBC offices in Delhi as well as Mumbai. Earlier, you were talking to us about some internal message that was sent to employees as well. Talk to us about what that message said.
Well, this is something which was circulated inside for all the staff members or all the employees who are part of the BBC India, and this is something which says that they should refrain from coming to office for today and for this week as well. And this is the reason because a team of the IT officials, but this is something that we know, the employees who are or those employees who are working from home, they must not be aware as to what exactly is happening inside their offices. This is the reason why we are here to give you each and every detail. So we are currently reporting from outside this particular office of BBC in KG Marg, where a team of the IT officials, they are present inside, and not just in the national capital, Ridhima, in financial capital Mumbai as well. A team of the IT officials, they are very much present at this place, and also the employees who are currently present inside these places, they have been advised not to use their personal cell phone, and they should strictly avoid using their official workstation as well. This is something which has been directed to all the employees by the team of IT officials, but we do not know exactly as to how many number of the officials they are present inside. They are carrying out with their work, but clearly around 10:30 or 11 a.m., that means a while back, an hour or two before, a team of the officials, they had reached out at this particular place. And also in the visuals, I would urge my camera person Ravinder Kumar to pan on the Delhi police officials, the workers, the staff members who are also, and this is something which is a part of the protocol, that whenever a team of the agency, they carry out their work, so they are to be accompanied by the security personnel as well. This is the reason why a team of the Delhi police officials, they are also very much present at the same site. And in the backdrop of the same, we all know as to what transpired politically and from the government of India side as well. And now if we talk about the details outside the office, there is huge presence, heavy deployment of the national media. So there is chaos all around. In fact, the passers-by as well, they are asking as to what has gone wrong inside. So this is the breaking piece of information which is now brought to you, particularly on CNN News 18, where we have been given to understand that an internal message has been circulated to all those staff members who are part of the BBC India office. At the same time, there are certain directions as well, advisory as well, which has been given to the employees of BBC India who are currently inside, that they should refrain strictly from using their personal cell phones as well, and their official workstation as well. At the same time, we should wait for the official statement, both from the income tax
office. So as Nikhil is pointing out, as far
India
as the Delhi office is concerned, all we know is that there is an IT team that's present, and there has been an internal message that has been circulated to BBC employees as well. Nikhil, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Let's bring in our colleague Yesha also to understand what's happening in Mumbai. Yesha, any details that you have or what's happening at the BBC office in Mumbai? How many members, how many teams, any details?
Ridhima, so what we understand from Mumbai is that there are two offices of BBC, of which the BBC Studios office and not the BBC News office, which is under the scanner of IT. As of now, our IT sources confirm that it's a survey. They're not calling it a raid. There have been 12 employees who were inside that office. Their phones have been confiscated, and further inquiry is still going on at that office, is what we understand right now. But apart from that, employees who have not been in office, they've been sent a message asking them to not come to office today and for the next 1 week. This is the basic information that has come out from the BBC office, source information from the BBC office. But the reason why this searches are being conducted, why this survey is being conducted at the BBC studios is also, there's no clarity on that, while IT officials are still tight-lipped as to why these surveys are being conducted. So as of now, it's just a preliminary information that there have been teams that have reached both the Delhi as well as Mumbai offices of BBC, and these are BBC studio offices where these searches are being conducted. Why these searches are being conducted? What is the context? What is the preliminary information that they are gathering from these these searches? Because post this survey searches, if they get concrete information from BBC, they could further go ahead and actually carry out raids and question people. So this basic survey would be on the basis of an information that the income tax department has received. There's a tip-off that they would have received. In order to confirm that tip-off, or in order to ensure what is the further lead, is why this team has actually reached both these offices. it's quite a preliminary information, and it will be too early to actually comment as to what exactly is going on by the income tax officials. As of now, there are just 2 locations across the city, across the country, which has been actually been confirmed by the IT officials. But further information, we'd expect them to come out in the next few hours as the survey goes on and as the searches are still being conducted, because this information will actually reveal the fact as to why these searches were being conducted. Preliminarily, it's been these 2 offices that the IT team has reached, and in Mumbai that we speak about, it's the Kalina office where the IT team is currently present, is what we've gotten confirmation for, and there were 12 people inside that office, whereas there are other offices as well, which has different departments of BBC working there, but there's been no confirmation if IT team has reached that office as well or not. But this one office which has been confirmed, that's only at this one office that IT team is still present.
Okay,
Yes,
so
Ridhima.
Yesha, as you were saying, because details are still sketchy as far as developments in Mumbai also are concerned, but you were saying that what sources are telling you that about phones were confiscated of 12 employees. Is that a usual procedure that's followed in cases like these?
It's actually unprecedented, because when it comes to a case like this, if a survey is being conducted, it's not the employees who are put under scanner. It's only when there's a raid or if there's a questioning that takes place is where even the employees, their phones, their digital evidences which need to be collected in order to ensure that they could be put in a piece of evidence. But here we've seen that this practice has taken place in Mumbai as well as Delhi, where phones have been seized of all the employees. That was only 12 employees were present in Mumbai, but their phones also have been seized. This could also be particularly so that the information does not go on to other employees. As a matter of fact, when there are agencies who are in fact looking into such cases, they ensure that the piece of information or any kind of communication for those who are not present, they should not be leaked out. This could be a precautionary measure that the income tax officials would have taken, but in a case where it's just a survey and not a raid or a questioning, seizing of phones of employees is not really a pattern or not really a practice that really agencies really follow. Yes,
Okay.
Ridhima.
Yesha, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Let's go back to Nikhil also to understand if he has any other details coming in as to what's happening at the BBC office in the national capital. Nikhil, as you were talking to our viewers a short while ago that an internal message was circulated asking employees to not come to work. Have you seen any employees leave the BBC office? Have they been able to confirm anything or what's happening inside?
Well, Ridhima, we are assuming if a current investigation, so to say, of income tax official is currently underway, then we are assuming at the same time that nobody would be allowed to leave the premises, which is as per the basic set of protocols when these kind of activities take place. And now you see in the visuals that this is the broad gate of the BBC office, and inside this particular premises, this is the huge building. So not just BBC employees are working here. There are, clearly other companies as well, corporates as well, who must be renting their office at this particular place, at this particular site. But nobody has left from the BBC office side. But now a commotion, so to say, we can see clearly at this particular place. In the visuals, you can see that a team of in fact, a person of the Delhi police official, he is present here as a part of the protocol. There are a few other members as well who must be working at this particular place, at this premises. They are out on this particular.
Nikhil, I apologize for interrupting. We in fact have Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi who is joining us on the broadcast. Good to have you on CNN News 18 with us. Your first response to the news coming in that there are IT teams present at the BBC office both in the national capital as well as Mumbai.
Well, I'm not surprised. Nobody is surprised. Everybody in India expected this from the BJP government under Prime Minister Modi. When the entire country wants this government to act tough and order a probe into the Adani group, probe into the nexus between the Prime Minister and the Adani group if there is nothing to hide, instead of ordering a probe, they are trying to distract the attention of the public by doing this so-called IT survey on an international media agency. Unfortunately, at a time when India holds the presidency of G20 group, when we should be showing the best of Indian democracy, Prime Minister is showing the worst of his authoritarian tendencies. So it's quite unfortunate. Nobody is surprised. Tomorrow they might be send an IT team to your channel. Who knows? But nobody is afraid and nobody is surprised by the Prime Minister. This is exactly what we expected when the BJP is on the back foot and on the defensive when it comes to the Adani group allegation.
But, sir, and I'll go to Amit Malviya also in just a bit. But, Gaurav, so what I'm essentially trying to understand is, as of now, we don't have a clarity whether this is a raid or not. We just understand that there is a presence of IT teams at the BBC offices. So we don't know what the reason or the intent behind the IT team present there is.
Well, I don't think you will ever get to know the intent. All you will get is some obfuscation. All you would get is some or spin. But I don't think you will get the truth, because the truth is everybody knows that this is Prime Minister Modi's way of deflecting from his allegations into the Adani Group, his silence, his government's weak stance. Or in a way, they have already given a clean chit to the Adani Group before ordering any investigation. If they are so concerned about India's image, why don't they order a probe into the Adani Group? Why doesn't an IT team probe into the serious charges of stock market manipulation? When is the SEBI team going to visit the Adani Group's headquarters and look into serious charges of circular trading and shell companies? So I don't think you will ever get the truth.
But Mr. Gogoi, as far as the Adani issue is concerned, I mean, we've already gotten multiple reactions coming in, right from the finance minister to others who've spoken at length as far as the Adani issue is concerned, and specifically as far as the issue that the opposition was raising as far as exposure of LIC and SBI is concerned. So that the finance ministers and others have already set the record, and the management of the companies have also said that their exposure is very limited. But I'm only trying to understand as to what the opposition thinks is happening today as far as the BBC offices are concerned. What do you think? Who do you think is behind it, and what do you think is really happening?
Well, your channel might be satisfied with the answers of the finance minister, but the people of this country are not. People know about the close relationship between Prime Minister Modi and the Adani Group. As I said, the government has already decided to give a clean chit before any investigation is started, before any investigation is concluded, before any evidences are laid out. This government has already given a clean chit. What kind of investigation have they done? What kind of impartial inquiry have they done? And that is why we wanted a JPC probe. That is why they are so scared that they removed the word Adani from the parliament's record. So it just shows. So this is nothing but a side show. The BBC documentary was an old issue, but they have raked up an old issue just so that your channels now, instead of talking about Adani, will not talk about this raid. But again, nobody is surprised that the BJP should not think that people of India are not politically mature. People of India are wise, they are savvy, and they have understood each of Prime Minister Modi's diversionary tactics.
Okay, so we'll leave the conversation there. Appreciate you joining us here on CNN News 18. Let's also bring in, we have BJP's Amit Malviya now joining us. Sir, thank you for patiently waiting. If you heard the conversation that I was having with Gaurav Gogoi and the other reactions that are coming in from the opposition, they're saying we're not really surprised. All the demands that have been asked by the opposition, there has been a deaf ear that has been shown to them by the government, and this is exactly the pattern of the central government.
Well, I did not hear your conversation or the reactions that came in earlier. But, if your specific question is on Adani, then the government of India, through its ministers, have clarified that the matter is being looked into by the regulators. And if anybody has proof to the contrary, they should take it to the court and ensure that justice is meted out. Banks, institutions have clarified on their positions, on their exposure to the group. There is nothing more that the government has to say at this point in time, and there's nothing the BJP, for that matter, as a political entity, has anything to hide or defend. We're neither the spokesperson for any of these financial institutions or the regulators. They will give the specific response that they've given in the past. But if the opposition is feeling so edgy about it, like they were at the time of Rafale, they're free to approach the court and put evidence in front of the court.
Sure. Mr. Malviya, I was referring to the IT teams that are present at the BBC offices in Delhi and Mumbai. I was referring to the reactions that are coming in from the opposition. Mahua Moitra has put out a tweet saying, wow, really, is this unexpected? Question mark. You have a reaction coming in from Jairam Ramesh, who's saying the government is running behind BBC.
Well, I think you as media as well as the opposition leaders should first go find out the reason for this survey or the presence of the IT teams at the respective location. This is not the first time the agencies are doing their job. This is not the last time the agencies will do their job. And if the opposition is so excited about being the spokesperson for the BBC or for that matter any other agency, they are welcome to do so. The agencies won't stop doing their job.
Okay. Mr. Malviya, we leave the conversation there. Thanks a lot for joining us here on CNN News 18. Some other breaking developments also coming in now. Some other reactions also now coming in as we continue to get you the reactions that are coming in from the opposition who are now questioning the presence of the IT teams at the BBC offices here in the national capital as well as Mumbai. You now have a reaction coming in from the PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti, who's also gone on to slam the centre, saying hounding those with the truth. And I'm quoting from what Mehbooba Mufti is saying. Let's bring in Tejinder also in the conversation. Tejinder, talk to us about the reaction that's coming in from the PDP chief.
This reaction from PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti was on expected line when the government had earlier banned the BBC documentary, the so-called documentary. The Mehbooba Mufti at that time had also raised questions on the government of India, saying that government was censoring the such type of. And the income tax teams are there at the BBC office in Delhi and Mumbai. Mehbooba Mufti has once again targeted the government of India, tweeted, and I quote, "Cause and effects of raid on the BBC office is quite obvious. Government of India is brazenly hounding those who speak the truth, be it opposition leaders, media, activists, or anyone else for that matter. The gloves are off, and there is a price one pays for fighting for truth." So for Mehbooba Mufti, the income tax teams doing survey at the BBC office means that the government of India is trying to hound those who are speaking against the government.
Okay.
But in reality, we yes, Sidma.
Right. Tejinder, thanks a lot for getting us all those details. Keep tracking those reactions for us. Let's also bring in, we have TMC MP Saugata Roy also now joining us. Good to have you on the broadcast with us. How do you see the developments that are playing out? Very initial details, but we do know there are IT teams present at the BBC offices in Delhi and Mumbai.
It is very unfortunate. This should be condemned by all right-thinking people. BBC has got a reputation throughout the world for fair and unbiased and courageous reporting. Now recently they made a documentary on Gujarat riots and the Prime Minister's involvement in the same. That documentary has been banned in India for all over.
Right. Sir, but the BJP is saying that the opposition is attacking the government. But as of now, we don't even know the reason behind the presence of these IT teams at the BBC offices. So why is the opposition attacking the government is the question that the BJP is asking.
That is because that it is very common for the government to use their different organizations against people opposing them. They use the income tax, they use the ET, they use the CBI. This is what is happening. But what this will do to India is it will tarnish India's name as a thriving democracy. Because BBC is an independent organization. The Adani's offices are not rated in this country. BBC's offices are rated. This will create an impact throughout the world.
Okay. Okay, so we leave the conversation there. Thanks a lot for joining us here on CNN News 18. The opposition there attacking the government, asking why they're using the central agencies. But just to clarify for our viewers, we have very sketchy details as of now. All that we know is that there are IT teams present at the BBC office here in the national capital as well as in Mumbai. We'll go back